They pull away, they blame you, they give you mixed signals. Then they vanish like it was your fault all along. Now you're wondering, was that person an avoidant or were they just a narcissist? I'm gonna explain the difference in this video and why you should or should not stay. Here's what they have in common. On the surface, they're both hot and cold. They give you affection one moment and then silence the next. And by moment, I could literally mean moment. Like it could be a 5-minute difference between them loving you like you were the greatest person to them, like you mean the world to them, and then 5 minutes later, they are not even aware of your existence. They seem emotionally unavailable, checked out, and totally indifferent. They both might disappear after emotional intimacy, get irritated by closeness, or shut down during conflict. They both tend to leave you with the same internal question: what did I do, or was it me? But don't let the symptoms fool you. A cough could be a cold, yes, but it also could be something else. The core difference is motive. See, an avoidant is operating from a place of fear. Fear of vulnerability, fear of closeness, fear of autonomy, fear of being judged, fear of being engulfed or smothered. And I'll tell you one that not a lot of people talk about. It's the fear of them being fully seen, you knowing them inside and out, and being rejected. Whereas a narcissist is operating from a place of ego. They crave admiration. They have a need, a deep desire for control. They totally avoid accountability, and they seek power through emotional imbalance. One runs when they're overwhelmed by emotional intimacy. The other runs when they don't need you emotionally. Why this difference matters. If you end up confusing an avoidant with a narcissist, you'll end up building resentment against a person who truly does love you, who's not trying to hurt you. They're just, let's call it emotionally unskilled, okay? But on the flip side of that, if you mistake a narcissist for someone who's just scared of love, you'll probably stay longer than you should. One needs space to grow. The other seeks distance as a means of control. The difficulty here is that you can't just look at a person's actions, right? Not all distance is toxic. Sometimes people just need distance to feel safe. And some of that is healthy even in a long-term relationship. Everybody needs their time apart. Some of it is healthy. Some of it may be toxic and calculated. What you need to understand about avoidance is that they pull away to protect themselves. Their core fears are intimacy and vulnerability. Something happened during their childhood that made them equate closeness to vulnerability or total engulfment in who they are as a person. They may love you deeply, but they get very scared when that bond deepens, when it becomes real. So they withdraw because they're overwhelmed in an effort to self-soothe the core wound. In other words, they pull away not because they don't love you, but because it's their emotional cigarette. It's their way to emotionally regulate themselves so that they can re-enter that relationship a little later and be fully present for you. Avoidants don't want to hurt you. They're just trying to protect their own nervous system. And their own nervous system is not just what's hurting you, it's what hurts them as well. That's why they feel the need to pull away. It's kind of like scratching their fight or flight response. And of course, in doing that, everybody around them gets hurt. That's why they often feel guilt afterwards or shame, even if they don't say it or do anything about it. Narcissists, on the other hand, pull away to punish or control you. Their core drive is ego, superiority, or control. They will love bomb you early on in the relationship. Then they will devalue you throughout the rest of the relationship. This is one of those core things that separates an avoidant from a narcissist, is the love bombing, because an avoidant can fall fast for you, but they still hold back on saying, I love you. They still hold back on saying that they want to be with you the rest of their lives and all that other fancy crap. Whereas a narcissist leans fully into it. They have no problems telling you within a week of knowing you that they are head over heels in love with you. And they'll just smile whenever they tell you in a month, if that they never really meant that. That was just emotion. And actually, you're an idiot for believing them, and that further cements in their mind that they were right to treat you like that, because look how stupid you are. Their distance is calculated. It's all to create an emotional imbalance. In other words, it's to make you chase them, because if you chase them, blow up their phone, feed their ego, see, that's what they're really after. They're not after making you feel secure or anything they can do for you. They go into a relationship in order to take as much as they possibly can to build themselves up, because they know that inside or deep down, they aren't anything. That's why they rely so heavily on validation, because deep down, there's nothing else to them. A narcissist will question you if you try to question them. They'll deflect, they will gaslight, shift the blame, or just flat out attack you back. How dare you hold them accountable for what they've done? As a matter of fact, they didn't do it. And if they did do it, you deserved it. And if you deserved it, it's because you were a piece of crap. A narcissist doesn't fear closeness. They fear accountability. And their detachment is really self-protection, because they know that if they get too close to you, you'll be able to see under their mask. And since they place their ego above all else in their life, and yours of course, they can't let you get that close. That's why when you actually seek that closeness, there is something in them that triggers that says, hey, they're getting a little bit too close here. I know I'm not that great, but they still have to think that. So I'm going to pull away, create that imbalance, make them chase me and blow up my phone, which of course disgusts me because I'm disgusted with myself. How could you even love this piece of trash? And then throw them away. They feel entitled, not guilty. Think of it like this. Your relationship is like a car. One of you is driving, one of you's in the passenger seat. And there are different needs, there are different pathways in that relationship that either of you control. For instance, when it comes to providing physically, men are very often and probably should be in control of that dynamic. They're the ones driving. When it comes to a man's emotional health, typically that becomes the woman he's dating. The woman is driving that car. So it's not just about one person constantly holding the wheel when they both play two very different but supportive roles. But I digress. Let's go back to avoidance and narcissists here. An avoidant wants control of the car always. Not because they want to control the dynamic, but because they don't want to crash. And every single relationship they've ever had, including their childhood, past trauma, you name it, has taught them that that car is going over that bridge. It's not going to be fun. It's going to crash. It's going to hurt. So what do? This is very important. Usually they don't crash the car on purpose. They'll slow it down, pull over, get out, and run. And you're left on the side of the road like, where are you going? What are you doing? It's like, and they're just screaming back at you, it's gonna crash, it's gonna crash, like you're in some screwed up Final Destination movie. But a narcissist wants to drive that car all the time, not out of fear that they're gonna crash, but because they just want to control the entire dynamic. It's not about just driving the car. They get to control what your seat setting is, what you're listening to on the radio, what the heat setting is, where you're going and how fast, and all of that just has to do with their ego. That's it. They want to control it just because they can. And the only way that they can do that is to make you feel as small as you possibly can, because if you have an opinion about anything, you're gone. Because that drive, that car is all about them. And if you've got a problem with it, they will kick you out of that door while that car is still going. But let's get down to the key differences now between an avoidant and a narcissist. First off, let's talk about the attachment. The avoidant has a fear of intimacy, whereas the narcissist has a fear of inadequacy that they cover with ego. The love style of an avoidant is hot and cold, but the love style of a narcissist is intense at first and then manipulative. So here's what I mean. With a narcissist, at first they will love bomb you, and the highs that you will feel with a narcissist are unlike any other relationship you'll ever be in. I mean, they are high. They make you feel like you are the most important person in the world. You can do anything. You've got this. They're so proud to be with you, blah, blah, blah. And here's how you know you're dealing with a narcissist. You won't return to that high, ever. It just slowly comes down. And yeah, you'll get a little uptick every once in a while, but that high that you felt with them never comes back again, ever. Whereas with an avoidant, they're hot and cold as well, yes, but those highs return. So with an avoidant, you go through those highs where you feel like you are the most important person in the world to them, with them, that both of you can do anything. And then the next day, they don't even return your calls. That's hot and cold behavior. And then the next day, they're hitting you up, asking you to come over. They want to spend the whole weekend with you. They're making future plans with you. They're talking about maybe having kids with you, blah, blah, blah. Now, not during like the first week, okay? Because that's a huge red flag. That's probably a narcissist. But that hot and cold behavior constantly returns, and it can be just as hot as it was before, and it can be just as cold as it was before. That's how you know you're dealing with an avoidant. Whereas a narcissist will give you that hot feeling at first, and then they will never return to it. It's just that slow devaluation over time. An avoidant is motivated by emotional safety. Whereas a narcissist is motivated by control. Secretly, an avoidant will often feel shame or guilt for their actions because they may not even understand why they're doing what they're doing, and they know that it's not good and that they're hurting the people around them, but they're so scared of intimacy. They're so wrapped up in their own wounds that they simply don't know how to act. They don't know how to be emotionally mature. They don't know how to be fully emotionally invested and present in that relationship. Whereas a narcissist avoids accountability. They don't feel shame or guilt for anything, and as a matter of fact, it was your fault for even bringing it up. An avoidant will often ghost you, or they'll pull away silently, detach silently during a relationship, even if they're in the same room as you. Whereas a narcissist can't seem to really let go without some sort of explosion, argument, something that they can do to elicit a response in you so that they can then turn around and blame that entire relationship on you and on your response. Now, here is the unfortunate, honest, and simple truth. For an avoidant, it is rare for them to fully heal. They can. It's going to take a lot of therapy and a lot of work. And it's going to take a very secure partner to help pull them out of it. With a narcissist, it's even rarer. An avoidant is often just wounded, while a narcissist is often weaponized. Avoidants can love you, but they don't know how to stay. A narcissist can't love you, but they'll stick around and convince you that they do until they've drained you dry. And lil bro, lil sis, please listen to me. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter what they are. What matters is how you're treated in that relationship. And if you are not being treated with the respect and the love that you give them, it's okay to have a little patience with them, a little bit. But if they're not seeking help, seeking therapy, doing these things, at least on the path to getting better, you know your answer. It doesn't matter whether or not they're an avoidant, a securely attached person, a narcissist, or even Captain Crunch. Don't know why Captain Crunch popped into my head. That is one for Freud. My entire point is, it's not as important to label your partner as this or that. What is important is how you are treated in that relationship. And you watching videos like this, it's a good sign that you care and that you're trying to build something. You're trying to understand the other person, sure. But if they're not returning that, lil bro, lil sis, you have your answer and you know what to do. I'm here for you. I'll see you in the next one.